Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Ether, Ripple, Monero, Cardano, Tether, Polygon. The list keeps going on. So what am I talking about here?
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah, crypto. Hey guys, I'm Cyrus and I'm back with another episode of Crypto Unfiltered. If you have been following the series, then I am sure that you're learning a lot more about cryptocurrency. In today's episode, we are going to talk about two very famous investors, what they have been saying about crypto recently. और अगर आप क्रिप्टो में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं तो ये वीडियो आपके लिए बहुत ही जरूरी है क्योंकि ये आपकी मदद करेगा फ्यूचर में एक स्मार्टर इन्वेस्टमेंट करने में. You see, it's called cryptocurrency, but when you or I are looking at crypto, we are seeing it as something where the value could go up, so it is worth money. We're not looking at it as money, not just yet. So if you are an investor, then why is it important that there are so many cryptocurrencies? Well, each of these currencies will have its value affected by different things going on in the world around us. When Elon Musk tweets to say that Dogecoin is the strongest cryptocurrency, its value changes. When the energy cost for mining Bitcoin goes up, its value also changes. So there are different factors out there that are affecting the values of these tokens. So to be a smart investor, you've got to do your part of the research and that means knowing the jargon. अब सारे jargons को मुझे एक वीडियो में स्क्वीज करना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा, so शुरुआत करते हैं कुछ important jargon से. सबसे पहला है address. This is where crypto comes and goes from. Your address on the blockchain is like your username. And this is what other people see when you trade in crypto. All-time high. What's the highest value that these tokens have been sold for? Looking at the all-time high gives you an idea of how the particular crypto is currently performing. Buy the dip. If you've been following crypto through the roller coaster that's been 2021, you have definitely heard of this one. Buy the dip means buy the crypto while the market is low. The idea is that the dip is temporary, and if you buy for low, you can sell for high. Cross-chain. Cross-chain refers to any technology that works across more than one blockchain. The interconnection between blockchain networks can be used to share information or value. Fiat. Fiat is legal tender backed by a government. So rupees, dollars, pounds, those are all fiat. You can use them to buy crypto or you can sell crypto to get real currency. HODL, or as many call it, hold on for dear life. Hold your tokens and don't let go. Yes, someone in crypto just misspelled hold and the HODL just got stuck from there. HODL is often said together with to the moon, which is where these crypto backers believe that the value of crypto is headed. And hey, sometimes that makes sense, although at this point, things are still a bit risky. क्रिप्टो की दुनिया में पिछले कुछ दिनों में काफी कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग रहा है, तो आइए चलिए बात करते हैं उसके बारे में इस सेगमेंट में. A top crypto platform, the Poly network, was hacked and a huge amount of tokens were siphoned off. We actually talked about this last week too, but things have gotten a lot further. The goal of Poly was to make it easier for people to swap between different tokens. Remember what we said earlier about spreading your assets? And instead, there was a heist of $600 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. Oh, hang on, अभी कहानी खत्म नहीं हुई है. पता नहीं क्यों उन hackers को इतनी दया आ गई that they actually returned the money, saying that they just wanted to expose the security flaws in the system. Wait, it gets even better. Last week, Poly Network announced that it wants to give a job to Mr. White Hat, the hacker, and it wants him to keep $500,000 as well. We caught up with a security expert to talk about some of the more pressing issues with crypto.
See, fundamentally, the technology is very strong.
The problem happens when we build on top of it. That's where we leave some margin of error, you can call it, which leads to some programming glitches and loopholes. Using those loopholes, hackers get their way. I believe smart contracts are still very vulnerable because they are still very new. They're not really mature enough yet. You must have heard about the recent, one of the biggest cyber attack on Poly network. See, the hacker returned the tokens. That's a story for another day probably. But yeah, this happened. Actually, last week also, Japan crypto exchange Liquid reported a cyber attack, and the hacker was able to get $97 million worth of tokens with him. See, to best describe crypto, I would use the term pseudo-anonymous because in crypto you don't really need KYC or name or rest of the information to open up or have an address, but at the same time, that information about that particular address is available online, complete information. So I may not know that this crypto address belongs to you, but I would know that this crypto address has so much cryptocurrency in which all tokens and which all accounts have you transferred to. I would have the details of all the transactions history. So I wouldn't really call it completely anonymous. So crypto would go in the category of somewhere in between of pseudo-anonymous, I would say. Absolutely, there is a possibility. See, what happens is most of the people there's an app with their phone or in their laptops and they use a password to log in into it. But first of all, that's an app password which they're using. So it's not really safe. Secondly, people use free Wi-Fi anywhere they can get. So if you're doing all this, yes, there is a 100% possibility that your crypto wallets can be hacked. Oh yes, there are multiple ways to safeguard your crypto wallet. First thing I would recommend is that in case if you're using an exchange account or if you're using a physical wallet, try and download the private key and note it down on a piece of paper and keep that paper safe. Secondly, I would recommend is do not keep all your crypto in one account. Try and distribute it over multiple accounts on different wallets and different apps. Third thing I would say is try and note down the seed phrase of that particular wallet again on a piece of paper and keep that paper safe. Last but not the least, always try and use a safe internet connection, secure internet connection. Do not try and use it on a free Wi-Fi or a public Wi-Fi. Don't try logging into your accounts.
So what's trending in crypto these days? Remember that at the start I had promised to tell you about two celebrity investors. Well, I was talking about Mr. Wonderful and Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. As much as I would have loved to have them on the show, they aren't coming. However, I would love them to talk about crypto. So Mr. Mark, Mr. Wonderful, if you're watching, please give me a call. But instead, let me tell you about a few public statements that both these Shark Tank investors have made recently. According to Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank, cryptocurrency volatility doesn't scare big investors, but compliance is needed. He said that he is a test case for institutions to see whether they should join the rapidly evolving market. Mr. Leary went on to say that it is one thing to put a small amount of money to work, but when you start talking about a 10% allocation of a large pool of capital, you need to integrate that with your compliance system and your accounting system and your external reporting system. On the other hand, Mark Cuban, who owns the Dallas Mavericks basketball team, announced that Doge was the strongest crypto in the market despite having Doge worth a few $100s. This predictably got Elon Musk and Dogecoin co-creator Billy Marcus to agree on Twitter. Yeah, it's good to see that celebrities are getting some of that crypto action. तो चलिए अब देखते हैं कि क्रिप्टो की दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है और थोड़े नंबर्स के बारे में बात करते हैं हमारे इस सेगमेंट में. At the time of filming, among the top tokens, Bitcoin dropped by 0.50%, while Ethereum is up by 4.90%, while Tether is down by 1.22%. On the other hand, Cardano is up by 0.34%. That's looking pretty good. A little scary for people who are invested, but remember, rather than looking at short-term fluctuations, you should focus on the bigger market trends, see what big investors are doing, and use that to ground your understanding anytime you actually spend money. Don't just listen to advice and follow it blindly, please. That's it for Crypto Unfiltered this week. If you have any questions, do send them across to us on our Twitter or Facebook pages. This is Cyrus John signing off with a promise that I will be back next week with more crypto. See you very soon.